Hey everyone, I gotta get this off my chest real quick. Uh, so, for all you that are out there waiting for the revolution to come, just imagine this. Or let me tell you a story. In the late 18th century, a group of middle class bourgeois in this country, classically middle class people, took up arms and overthrew the oligarchs and then had their revolution. The revolution has come. Everyone's talking about when the real revolution comes, we're going to do this. When the revolution comes, we're going to do that. The revolution has come, and our country is not. It's got its problems. I don't have time to even get into it. How many problems we have. But one thing we got right is voting. Is the necessity of voting and the effectiveness of voting. And I'm really concerned about 2018 and 2020. I think Trump's gonna win. I think all this talk about he's not going to make it through his term, he's not going to get reelected is nonsense. I think he's got every advantage. He's now the president. Um, Unless he faces Republican opposition, he's going to most likely win reelection if we don't run a really good left-wing populist candidate. I think Tulsi Gabbard would be the best in terms of her chances of winning, and still, anyway, that's a different. So here's my point. If you're not registered to vote, you need to do it. You need to register now. And I want to make this video to address all the people who say that voting doesn't matter. Okay? Number one, these people spend billions, literally billions of dollars during elections to get votes. I mean, that's Exhibit A. Why the fuck would they spend all this money if your vote didn't matter, if your vote didn't mean anything? Yes, there are oligarchs who throw their money in, and there are, entities like the CIA and the military and the corporate media, all kinds of other factors that influence the election. And yes, we've had tragedies like Bush Gore, or like the Electoral College in general. Remember, Hillary Clinton, as much as I loathe her, should be president if we had a real robust democracy in this country, or even a good republic. But we have what we have, and voting is the mechanism through which power is exercised. Real power, not hashtag activism, not fucking raising awareness, which is necessary too. But at the end of the day, the reason you do all that is so that we can win elections. And, let's not forget how many independents were cut out of the primary who would have voted for Bernie, but they had to have, registered Democrat in closed primaries months before. New York being the most egregious example. I think it was like 6 months before the election you had to be a registered Democrat. We can't repeat that mistake in 2018. We need everybody voting. And I don't see a lot of awareness being raised about the importance of voting. I see a lot of talk about Russia and Hillary and Bernie and all this nonsense. But if you don't get out there and cast your ballot, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These elections do matter. Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions is our Attorney General. Donald Trump is president. I mean, even if you think voting doesn't matter, even if you think it's useless, why not? Why not? And to the real diehard people who insist, my one vote, it's just one vote, how could it count? Well, you've got a point. One vote can't make too much of a difference. And like I referenced earlier about Bush Gore and other such bullshitting of our elections, it can be fucked with. There are all kinds of very powerful people who want to sway elections one way or another. But it's easier to fuck with elections when people aren't voting. Your vote doesn't matter as an individual. That's true. But it only doesn't matter because everybody doesn't do it. If people voted as blocks, as coalitions, then it matters. But if it's only a handful of political activists out here who care about this or the other thing, then no, you can't make much of a difference. You need the populace to vote one way or the other. And the Republicans are going to vote. They're going to be out there voting. The conservatives, the Christians, the fucking hateful people, you damn well know they're voting. It's only on the left that we have this problem. Well, not only on the left. It affects us more, particularly millennials. Look into the numbers about how much of our government spending goes into taking care of people who have, for all intents and purposes, left society. People in nursing homes, people on Medicaid and Medicare, people whose time should have come decades ago. God bless them. They're still with us. That's great. But we're getting old. The millennials aren't young anymore. And we take for granted that these programs are going to be here. But guess what? The baby boomers aren't dying. And they're still voting. And they're still voting to take money from our society to take care for their medical expenses, which is good. We can do that. We can do all of it. We can pay for everybody. But the only way you can do that is if we vote people in who aren't going to sign trillions of dollars to military expenditures and build more aircraft carriers when we don't need them and build runways full of and have parking lots full of Abrams tanks that the Pentagon said they don't even want, but they had to be built because of contracts. Corruption is an issue, but if the people vote, we can overwhelm the corruption, and hopefully we can address things like the Electoral College and money in politics and all. We can use the system to strengthen democracy later on. But you got to start where you are. And right now we need people out there voting in the name of God. I mean, that's the least you can do. I'm really losing patience having these debates about whether or not voting is significant. I mean, there's a reason we're in Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan and Somalia and Yemen. There's a reason and Libya. There's a reason we blindly support the apartheid regime in Israel. There's a reason women's right to abortion and birth control is being fucked with. I mean, are we really having to defend abortion? It's because the right turns out and the American people don't. If you look at the statistics, and I don't know them offhand, but overwhelmingly the people support stronger gun regulation, Medicare for all, strengthen Social Security. Most people want to get rid of NAFTA. I mean, the progressive issues are overwhelmingly popular among the people, but the people don't vote. Some political junkies and right-wing Christians vote, and that's why we're losing. You need to get out there, register now. I register Democrat for pragmatic reasons in case there's a Bernie Sanders or something that pops up. I don't want to have to regret not being able to vote for that person. I mean, I don't really identify as anything. But register Democrat, register Independent, register Republican if you want, whatever. I mean, don't register Republican. But, you got to get on this. You're an adult. You're grown up. This is your country and your children's country. We can't keep fucking up like this. We need to turn out and fucking, if you can't cast a vote, if your sense of civic duty is so narrow that you can't go down to the fucking local church or mosque or fucking library or wherever they're voting and fill out a little piece of paper and turn it in and then go about your business. It's like stopping for gas. If you can't do that once every 2 years or so, you're really kind of a piece of shit. I mean, you have to have a good argument, and I haven't heard one yet. All I hear is excuses from people who don't want to take the time to inform themselves, or don't want to take the time to, drop by the hospital or wherever they're setting up polling places. Man up, woman up, grow up, get out there, vote, get your friends to vote. This is our country, and we're the only ones that can keep the ship going the right way or whatever. All right, Bernie 101.